And welcome to another exciting episode of The Energy That Surrounds Us. I'm your host, Michael, and I am joined tonight with a guest who I'm sure if you're in the paranormal or fringe science, as I like to call it, for fringe paranormal, you're very familiar with my guest, but I will do my best to give him a introduction anyhow. So, without further ado, on this blessed, wonderful Armistice Day and Veterans Day, thank you to all who have served, and thank you to those who are serving. Thank you with all of our hearts for the sacrifice you're making. And with that being said, I am now going to allow my guest to introduce himself, the one, the only, the amazing, incredible Dr. Louis Turi.
Michael, my good friend, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a real pleasure to be talking to you. Let me give you a little bit of a feedback. I was born and raised in the south of France in Provence, which is a Nostradamus area. I've got nothing to do with Nostradamus apart from that I was born under the same stars, and I spent pretty much the rest of my life. I will spend the rest of my life, and I did spend the first parts of my life literally mastering his 16th century divine astrology methodology. So the connection I have with the prophet is highly spiritual, put it this way. I arrived in the United States. I left France, to be more precise, in 1972, a long time ago. And I made it to the United States. And since then, I started literally from the scratch. A lot of things have happened to me. A lot of things happened to me that led me to this great country. And I made the American dream. I'm very proud of my accomplishment. My newsletters goes all over the world. My videos goes all over the world. I've been on national TV, radio, and so forth. And I'm still working nonstop to satisfy the endless chains of reading that I have to do. And the feedback that I get from my client, student, and patient is absolutely phenomenal. He gives me that, zest for life. I'll be 75 in 2 months from today.
And wow, you don't look it.
No, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I work my butt off. and the attitude, Michael, the attitude is what keeps you young and healthy. I also teach my students that any and all diseases are coming from a blockage. Would it be physical or spiritual? You do have a blockage at the subconscious level. So I'm going to be doing a course on hypnotherapy. I already have a bunch of people that have signed up. That course was supposed to be done on 11/11, but some of my clients, some of my students got stuck in that nasty hurricane, which I predict, both of them. And I decided to push it all the way to January. So there is still room for some of you who want to learn about hypnotherapy, how to use the superconscious in time and space, and how to heal yourself and support and promote all your wishes by using the power. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. That's what I teach. So this is, again, something that I do. I've been running around doing all sorts of conferences on UFOs. I've been touched by the divine. Don't ask me. As always, teach my student, again, a magnet will attract a piece of wood. I'm a Pisces, but I'm loaded with Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign which is ruled and controlled by a planet called Uranus. And Uranus rules what? New Age, astrology, UFOs, the cuckoos, that's what they call me. But this planet rules also the geniuses, right? So, to tell you, I've been around, Michael. Oh, very important, before I forget. On the 15th, I'll be proudly becoming American. I'm going to be going to the celebration party, get the oath to the Constitution. our democracy, which I'm fighting really hard to maintain. And I'll be a proud American, finally.
Well, we'll be proud to have you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you.
Well, what month were you born again, Michael?
I was born in March.
Oh, so you're Pisces like me. Okay. Now you have two fish. You have one that swims upstream, and then you have another one who swims downstream. Okay. Now, you cannot have a positive without a negative. You cannot have an up without a down, front, back, God, devil, yin, yang. And that's why everything is opposite. Without opposite, there is no life. That's why you have two eyes, two arms, two legs, and you balance. The positive fish, Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Bruce Willis, Barbara Streisand, Dr. Turi, these are the fish that swims upstream towards God's feet. Building cosmic consciousness, challenging the negative fish, which is a dogma, the past. The negative fish has produced people like Osama bin Laden, that has killed 5,000 people for his religion. And again, I'm Christian because I was born in France. But if I was born in the Middle East or in Asia, or you would not be Christians. This means we are all, at birth, literally cursed by a religion. And there is 5,000 of them. Okay? We're all being cursed by a religion that has been imposed upon our families. So that's why the fish has to swim back to his birthplace. And as a human being, of course, your birthplace is the stars. That's where you came from. Now, on my website, drturi.com, I got a bunch of videos that are also on Amazon Prime. If you're into astrology, or if you want to learn about Nostradamus and astrology, you can read, you can watch those movies on my website. But Pisces is a karmic sign. In other words, Pisces don't have much of a fate. Pisces is what you call a terminal. The opportunity is given to the soul to shut down the reincarnation principle and become a co-creator with the force, with God, so to speak. That's why it's the hardest lesson. Why? Let me explain why it is the hardest lesson to be born a fish. Imagine a salmon. You're in the middle of the oceans, and one day you decide, I need to swim back to my birthplace. So you start to swim, you're looking for the estuary, you're looking for that river where you were born, and you start your journey upstream. The problem is, the river goes that way, 24/7, night and day. Imagine that salmon. He has to swim against the current, and there is falls. He still has to go up. You see how hard it is? It's easier for the fish to follow the current of deception, illusion, religion, or the quicksand of Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. On the positive side of the good fish, he creates people, again, like Michelangelo, artists. That's why I play piano. That's why I was a recording artist. Swimming upstream, and spiritual, psychic, creative, loving, caring, sensitive, that's the fish. And then the other one, completely out of order. Pisces on the negative side, or Neptune on the negative side, means drugs, alcohol, poisoning, confinement, church, a synagogue, asylum, cuckoo farm, medication, antidepressant, which poison the body, the mind, and the soul. That's why being a fish is the hardest lesson the souls can choose to do. Now, you could be an Aries, a Leo, a Sagittarius, an Aquarius. You could be anything you want. You still have a house controlled by the sign of Pisces. Because you're not just a Pisces. Pisces is your first house, which represents in many ways your soul's purpose to swim back to God. That brings me to let you know that Jesus himself was teaching astrology. Or you're going to say, oh, how is that possible? Oh, yes. First of all, I have, if you watch my movies or my website, I have pictures from the 13th or 14th centuries of all the popes being taught astrology by the Vatican Council. I've got pictures of the Pope being enthroned under the sign of Leo. But of course, they don't want you to know. So the 12 apostles are nothing else than a representation of the 12 hours of the day, 12 months of the year, 12 sins, 12 jury, 12 notes of music, the 12 sign of the zodiac, and your 12 houses. So Jesus was actually teaching astrology. But again, the politically oriented churches of the old days do not want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. And people like you and me, highly spiritual, that uncover the secret of the divine, we go burned, we go hanged, we go killed, and our wisdom confiscated and stuck into the 75 miles of secret library under the Vatican. That tells you that millions and millions and billions of people on this planet are all poisoned. Neptune rules poisoning. Psychically, not only physically with chemicals, drugs, antidepressant, and the pharmaceutical industry, right? We understand that. Pisces rules the Middle East. The Middle East is the greatest producer of oil, and it has poisoned the ozone layer with the oil that was taken from the Middle East. The Middle East is the birth of all the youngest and deadliest religion. The Jewish religion, the Muslim religion, the Christian religion, they're born in the same place. And what you have as a result? Endless religious war as it's happening right here, right now with Israel and Hamas. It is nothing else than the continuous religious war that started 1,000 years ago. The good news, we are slowly but surely moving into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius rules unification. Aquarius rules humanitarianism, technology, AI, UFOs, astrology, the impossible, the incredible. It rules the fate of humanity, the future of humanity. And the age of Aquarius is slowly but surely kicking in. That's why we have so much technology. In fact, humanity has made more progress in the last 50 years than the last 2,000 years that we spend under the age of Aquarius, Pisces. It takes 2,000 years for an age to produce his work, so to speak, his karmic work. So we are at the end of the age of Pisces, because people start to ask questions about religion, okay? And they want to be free. And then you have technology. In the old days, all the information were controlled. In fact, the church had access to all those information, but they didn't pass it on. But with the age of Aquarius, at the birthing of the age of Aquarius, now those information are available to anybody, anytime, anywhere in the world with your telephone, with your cell phone. See how it goes?
Yes. And I'm curious because we didn't have 12 months until we switched to the Julian calendar, or is it the Gregorian calendar?
Again,
but before that was 13 months, and there originally was 13 apostles. That one of them was taken off the list, and she was re-identified by the church. And so I'm curious, does that interfere or influence the astrology any?
No. Nostradamus astrology is based upon the Gregorian calendar, basically. But there is always somebody out there that's going to say something and add something or retrieve something. But the fact of the matter, I'm using the basic. The basics are the 12 apostles. Everybody knows there is 12 apostles. Okay? And you have 12 months. You have 12 hours. You have 12 things. You have 12 jury. You have to go through the fact of the basic of history. And the first people that were teaching astrology was the Arabs. But all they have left nowadays is their flag with the sun and the moon. And the Jews were also great teacher of astrology before they switched into a deception of Neptune. So each one of these planets has an incredible power that is designed to support and promote your karmic work. That led me to talk, for example, about Jupiter. When the extraterrestrials built this solar system, they made sure to have a planet so big that gravitational forces would act as a protector. That's why Jupiter is called the great protector, the great benefic. Because if anything comes out of space to end life as we know it on planet Earth, before killing us, is gonna go on Jupiter's back. That's what happened with the Shoemaker comet. I don't know if you remember that series of comets that crashes on Jupiter.
Right.
That proves to you the claims that the extraterrestrials knew what they were doing by having such gravitational forces of Jupiter involved in this solar system. So we could survive anything that comes that would kill us from outer space. Jupiter traditionally rules your relationships with foreigners, higher education, the codification of thought, religion, college, university again. And as a Pisces, do you know where you have the blessing of Jupiter? You have it like me in teaching. But Jupiter will never help you if you do things small. It's a big planet. And if you do not involve foreigners and foreign land, that massive planet of luck is not going to help you. Now, if you count to 10 from March, you're going to end up in December. Look, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? That is your 10th house of career. It's the highest point. That's where you are going to climb in your career. So you are, like me, a Sagittarius in your career, and Sagittarius rules teaching. What am I doing in your show? Teaching. What are you doing in your show, Michael? Indirectly.
Teaching.
There you go. So now you also have another planet, the opposite of big Jupiter, the lucky planet. Now you have Saturn. Saturn is called the great malefic. Saturn doesn't give nothing for free. Okay? You don't become a doctor, an attorney, or a president in 5 minutes. It's going to take years. Now, to represent your 10th house of career, which in your case, in my case, is Sagittarius, the ancient, through the traditional system of astrology, you always start with Aries. So if you count 10 from April, now you're going to end up in January. Watch. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 10th house. I have a reflex, so I know the system very well. That's why I count with my fingers to help the people to deal with me. So, to represent your career, the ancient carve a goat. What does a goat do traditionally? It climbs the mountain. And there is snow, and there is ice, there is wind, and it's going to take years before you become somebody, an attorney, a doctor, or a president. Now, every sign is both positive and negative. You have also a negative Capricorn. Capricorn, visualize the sign of Capricorn. It's a goat. It's the symbol chosen by Christian to represent the devil and Satan. It represents people like Hitler, people like Putin, people like Trump. Again, that's not political. That's astrology being explained to people, right? These people claim the mountain. They will lie. They will cheat. They will kill. They'll do anything to stay on, to climb to the mountain, to maintain the power or to reach the power or to keep the power. Hitler was born with the tail of the dragon in Capricorn. You have absolutely no idea of the immense power that is offered to us through the world of astrology, which is nothing else than God cosmic design. Sad enough, Capricorn rules also large corporation, abusive corporation, NASA, the Vatican, all the people and all the corporations who have reached power. They have money, they have organization, they have the knowledge, they have the wisdom, including the Illuminati using also science, the Freemason. So they are at the top. So they control the information, they have the money, and we are the peon, we are the ants, we are the worker, they are at the top. They have the money, they have the power. England is a Capricorn country. That little island, the tiny little island, once upon the time, ran everything. They went all the way to India. They raped the Indian nations of all their resources. They went to Africa. They raped the African nation of their diamond mine and their gold mine, which end up in the crown of the queen. Capricorn rules the rich, the snob, the wealthy, people like Elon Musk, people who have the power, the money, they have built that fortune. They are led by the devil of control, ego, power, greed. You follow me?
I do, but I'm also wondering though, because I've been watching some new shows about behind the scenes of what's going on that we don't normally see, and hearing stories. And when you're talking Trump and Musk and all these people, how they're ruled under this, but they don't act that way and they don't personify that way. So is there a way to overrule that and stay in the positive even though you're in the negative?
As a rule, the part of God in you is stronger than the stars. The problem is, instead of talking the divine and Jesus cosmic language, you're talking astrology, you're talking politics, and you're talking conspiracy. Now, let me explain something even deeper since we get into politics now. President Trump, let's call it President Trump, is a Gemini. Gemini is called in Greek mythology the messengers of the gods. I have a lot of Gemini myself. Okay? The messengers of the gods, talking, communication, radio, television, whatever, communication. But at the same time, the stars don't lie. But if you don't have the eyes, if you don't have the education, if you don't have an understanding of the structure, you are going to use the 5 limited rational human sense to judge a person. I do not judge people like anybody else through my rational sense of what I read or what I see. I judge people through the stars. And I have learned at my age, stars don't lie. Gemini, when you elect a person, a president, listen carefully because that's critical for the people that support or don't support Trump. When you elect a president, you are going to be forced to experience his fate, his stars, his idiosyncrasy. Trump is a Gemini. What is Gemini? Divide. Divide. That is the purpose of Gemini. Divide. He's called on the negative side, the Lord of the Thieves, because he talks. He jumps from one side to the other one. And he can make you believe anything by repetition. That's Gemini. And as far as President Trump is concerned, he was born with the tail of the dragon. We getting in another sphere now, in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules your relationship with foreigners and in foreign lands. When you have the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius, there is no way around it. You are born a racist. That's what the stars says. Remember, Sagittarius was the Indian world. It was the pet world. There is only one president who never brought a pet into the White House. President Trump. Every other president had a pet because the tail of the dragon in Sagittarius depicted this way. Now, if you don't have cosmic consciousness, again, you got to go back to your rational sense, to science, to conspiracy. You will never, ever in a million years be able to agree with me. Doesn't matter what I said. If you can only perceive your reality and the fact that you accept through your intelligence, education, your experiences, and most of all, 3/4 because of your stars. The point of the matter is this supreme wisdom, which unified, has been taken away. You got 5,000 religions teaching you 5,000 different things. And those millions and billions of people, every one of them has a sun sign. Instead of judging people through your rational sense and you use the divine, you cannot hate anybody because you understand. So astrology, like Aquarius, unify. And that is the promise of the new age of Aquarius. It is going to bring that wisdom somewhere or somehow to the general public. Nothing in life survives. Life is made of changes. In fact, life is a constant process of changes. So as come the age of Aquarius, and the age of Pisces is going to lose its power, deception, illusion, religion, all that's not going to be as strong as it is, because it's all about vibration and energy with astrology. The new age of Aquarius will help people to raise into a higher level, to a higher vibration that will make them more curious, less susceptible. Oh, I'm going to go to hell because I'm listening to Dr. Turi, because that's what they've been indoctrinated to believe. You understand what I'm trying to say? So
I do.
I am a little bit ahead of time, put it this way, and I'm trying to bring that wisdom to people. And it's only those who are able and willing and curious that wisdom will be used. All the other people will have to stay where they are because they need more lifetime to grow. Now, in time and space, there is no time, which means you can be born 10 million years ago or 10 million years in the future. It all depends what is your karma. And as far as, let's talk about abortion, because this is a very serious topic. Now, I'm not coming from a scientific level. I'm a soul doctor. I am not a physician. I don't prescribe prediction, and I never kill anybody with medication. I'm a soul doctor. Common sense, at least common sense, dictates you cannot be born unless you die, or vice versa. Do you understand that? That is a fact.
Right.
Which
the
means,
balance.
so inside of the warm uterine life of a mother, there is a baby growing. All right. Now, 9 months later, this baby comes out. And do you know what the first thing the doctor does? He's killing the baby. How does he kill the baby? He cut the cord that separate the baby from all digestion of the mother. And at that very precise moment, the cold in the room, the noise in the room, all smack on his butt, at that very precise moment, at the speed of light, the spirit connect. Until then, there is no spirit inside. And that's where the problem is. People do not know that. They think you are killing a baby. You're killing a life form, don't get me wrong, okay? But there is no spirit yet. Now, if you take the baby, comes out, cut the cord, and you strangle the baby, now you have killed the spirit with the baby. You stop the evolution of the soul and this karmic work on this dense physical world. A lot of women don't know that. So sometimes they've been forced to have an abortion for whatever reason. Okay, they got raped by their brothers, sisters, incest, or maybe a loser, or whatever. They don't want the kid of this guy, whatever. And then they feel guilty for the rest of their lives, and they end up with cancer. Remember what I said earlier? Disease come from a blockage. Will it be physical or spiritual? Right? So that poor lady has so much guilt to have killed a baby. She's now going to go to hell because she has no cosmic consciousness. And the fact she has killed no baby. Let's talk about gays. What makes people gay? Why? I have friends, clients, students that are gay. I certainly don't like what they do. No. But they are like you and me. They are human beings. They have rights. Now, do you know why they're gay? There's two reasons why they're gay. You have 10 planets in your chart. If the majority of the planets in a guy chart are feminine, this guy is going to be able to cook, to clean. He's going to be very emotional, okay? And he's going to spend $150,000 to get rid of the wrong equipment because this guy inside is a girl. Nobody's going to spend all that. They must mean it. Or you have that girl, beautiful, very feminine, at the same time loaded with masculine planet. The next thing you're going to have is Muhammad Ali's daughter, which is going to go and become a boxer, a lesbian. It's all written in light through the stars. But if you do not know about the stars, how can you fix the situation? All you have is what you've been taught, is what you believe. That's why I said earlier, you are going to perceive your reality through your intelligence, your education, your experiences, and most of all, your stars. So once this supreme cosmic knowledge become universal, and all the religion of the past that have been killing millions and millions of people is cast aside, all these archaic deceiving teaching is cast aside, then the light of the age of Aquarius will lead people to become cosmic conscious. And at the same time, it will also bring our space brother into our dimension. Because you see, extraterrestrials are not the product of my imagination. You have the right to be skeptical. Believe me, when it comes to UFO or extraterrestrial. In my case, oh no, it was not something I've seen out there. It was not. No. It was a flying saucer 30 feet above my head. It was me talking to this guy, and it was me inside of the flying saucer. But it is personal. Unless you go through that experience, you have all the right in the world to be skeptical. It's so personal. And I'm praying every single day to all the skeptics out there, please understand extraterrestrials are here. They are very real. They're doing their part, and they are going to take care of us. However, Michael, remember, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God, devil, yin and yang, positive, negative. You also have the bad ETs, what I call the reptilians. Those entities can only survive in dark matter, with your fear, with chaos, with war, with blood, with the fight. And it's easy, extraordinarily easy for those negative entities or negative extraterrestrial to psychically invade your body, your mind, and your soul. And there are billions of people on this planet that are reptilians infected, and many of them are in power. Hitler was reptilians infected. I know for a fact that Trump is reptilian infected, including all his minions. It doesn't mean that I am not infected. I'm also infected. Give me a cup of beer, you're going to see a different Dr. Turi, because that's what the extraterrestrials use. They use drugs, they use alcohol, they use the ego, they use greed, they use anything, all the weaknesses of humans, so they can build that negativity. And then you have the Draconis from the constellation of Draco. These stimulate the mind of artists to make beautiful music. They stimulate the mind of scientists to battle disease, to make technological advancement that can fix your eyes or your heart, while the negative ET will stimulate those scientists to create viruses that kill millions. Do you understand the forces? Cannot have light. If you have no opposite, you have no life. So those positive extraterrestrials are watching. There is a war out there. And it's transcending down here on this dense physical world on Earth. But we are not doomed, regardless of what happened. In a couple of years from now, when the dragon will move in Aquarius, the chance of nuke exchange will become extraordinarily possible. However, I have faith on what I know to be true with extraterrestrials. They will not let us, their experiment, be blown away. If that can be a little bit of help and hope for the future in this crazy world.
Yes, and I've been toying with this thought in my mind because we were talking about cosmic and everything run by the 12, and then you said there's only 10 celestial bodies.
Well,
in connected
our solar
houses.
In our solar system, yes.
How was it originally created with there being 12 and 2?
No. There is co-ruler, like Jupiter, for example. Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius. Like Venus rules Libra and Taurus. It brings it to 12. But I mean, you don't have the basics. I wish I could teach you, but it would take you a full week, like all my students do. I have all those classes on my website, classes on the tarot. I'm going to do another one on hypnotherapy very soon. But if you take the time to get all the basic of astrology, and as a Pisces, you already have learned all that, Michael. You like all Pisces, you regenerate in learning and teaching. It's part of the law. So you need to understand that there is trillions and billions. You cannot even count the planet or the solar system that you have out there. Now, what's very interesting, Michael, everyone, without exception, now listen to this, every one of the stars that you see, okay, as a solar system, it had a bunch of planets evolving around the sun. And every one of these sun supports a system that supports life. However, you don't have the eyes, you don't have the ears, you don't have the vibration to either see, understand, conceive, or even accept my claim. Because it's a different vibration.
Right.
Life and time is like a clock, like a radio station. Let's say you turn the clock left, Michael, you can go in the past forever. Now, you turn the knot on the right side, you can go in the future forever. That is it. That is all is that. That is God. That's life. That's death. The extraterrestrial, the negativity, cannot exist without negativity. They have to steer fear, conspiracy, murder. They need to infect people in order for that vibration, that negativity of darkness grow. But you have the other effect, pushing the other way. And that's what gives life. You cannot have a devil without a God. You cannot have a day without a night, a man without a woman. You need to understand. You have the choice to make. Are you going to work for the darkness? Are you going to be negative? Are you going to be depressive? Are you going to be supporting chaos and conspiracy that makes no sense? Or are you going to educate yourself, become cosmic conscious, love and support and educate others. It's a choice, and that is the fish. You're going to go up, you're going to go down. It's a choice. And at the end, nobody is going to judge you. You have to remember another thing, which just may upset some Christians, but that's the fact that I know from my own experiences. Lost my channeling now. It's coming back. Maybe my subconscious doesn't want to say it because it makes people a little bit upset when I say things like that. But I got to say it anyway. You were made in the image of God, correct?
Correct.
I didn't say that. The Bible says you were made in the image of God. All right. Now I take two images, okay? And I start to shuffle these images. At the end, who the hell is who? Same. You were made in the image of God. This means male and female, we are God and goddesses, okay? Stuck on the dense physical world, learning that we have inherited the power to create. Oh, I can ask you a question. This is my mouth. I got a question for you, Michael, or your audience. Why was this 200 or 300 years ago? Well, the right answer is did not exist. But it's here.
Right.
And it is the same with everything around you or me. Once upon the time, you sure did not exist. But you have created it, Michael. The hat on your head, once upon the time, did not exist. We are creating non-stop. Don't expect the Church Inc. to tell you that you are a God. You have the right to use the power given to you by your Creator, since you are the Creator. You were made as His image. Let me give you an example.
Actually, I was going to mention, as you were talking about being the image of God, the synchronicity of, I was just talking with someone and I said, I love when people will always say, I don't know what God looks like. I can't imagine what He looks like. And I said, and I go, well, you're told in the book you were made in His image, so therefore you look in the mirror, you know God.
Yeah, but
So
Michael, you're a Pisces. You're a terminal. You're not coming back on this dense physical world. Okay, that's why you have no fate. The fate is based upon the reincarnation of your thoughts and positive thinking and swinging upstream. That's Pisces. Okay, so you have that inner wisdom inside of you. Okay, but as I said, once upon the time, anything around you did not exist. So that's why it's critical to keep a positive attitude and be very cautious of every words that come out of your mouth. Because what? They've been already processed through your subconscious. The subconscious is God. That's where God resides. He gets your heart beating, he stops an infection, he does things incredible. He gets a young mother to lift the car with one hand if a baby is under the car. It's magic, it's Pisces, it's the 12th house, it's the superconscious in time and space. You have this power, but nobody taught you how to use it. That's why I'm doing the hypnotherapy course, to teach that to people on how to do it. It's incredibly critical for people not to feed evil, because your subconscious, or God, starting out, does not rationalize with you. He does not know what's right, what's wrong. It's like, for example, killing babies through an earthquake, an act of God. Wait a minute here. There is more to it. And there are people who don't have they are not set by their stars at their level of reincarnation, karmic incarnation, to perceive the divine. They're not able, they're not allowed to. That's why you need people to build gearbox, to build bridge, so it's safe. They are into the rational world. They are young soul. They cannot enter the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness because they are not Pisces. They're not spiritual. They are there. We are here. And now you're going to ask me, what's the difference between the devil and God? All right, let me show you the difference between a devil and God. It's the same guy. How is that possible? You're talking about the opposite. Same guy. Let me explain. You get a couple of twins. Okay, they're being raised together. They're doing very well at school. And then on their birthday party, one of the twins goes outside. He get into an argument, and somebody throw a brick on his head and crack his head. All right, he doesn't die, but here you go. That's where you got to pay attention. Those two twins were like this. Now, one of the twins got hit on the head, and the other one kept going to school and get better. Okay. Then this brother, 2 or 3 years later, had an accident, but this brother recoup, and he goes also back to college, and there he goes. So he was the devil. Now he is God. He was negative. Now he's positive. Now, something again happened to him. Now look at the brother. See what I'm saying? Do you understand this process?
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to say. It's unbelievably simple if you have the intuition to conceive that God and the devil is the same guy. A baby, let's call it innocent, to use the right word, because it's innocent. He's a baby, but he's also everything you can have of stupidity and ignorance. Is the mother of all stupidity. He's a baby. He doesn't know anything. So that's the devil. That this baby is going to grow, he's going to learn, he's going to be smart, he's going to have a hell of a lot of experience, he's going to get beaten. God made this world so hard because we are too stupid to learn by reading or listening to wise people like you and me. That's why God made pain. Oh, I tell you, don't touch this, it's hot. Oh, no. You're going to touch it 2 or 3 times. You're going to burn and you're going to realize it's hot. This is how humans learn, the hard way. Do that make sense?
It does. And it also is interesting how, like you were saying, you and I both being Pisces, having similar conversations and similar realizations along the same stream.
A magnet will attract a piece of wood. That is the law. Okay? It's the law. In fact, well, we could take an example that is obvious. Let's take Trump, for example. Magnet will attract a piece of wood. The majority of people who have voted for Trump are people that vibrate like Trump. Trump doesn't speak educated, refined, okay? He doesn't speak this educated language. He speaks like he speaks, like a Latino guy who has never been to college. And promoting fear, negativity, insecurity, okay? These people will never choose democracy. They will choose the economy because these people, they have a family to take care of. So they are easily being manipulated and being very gullible. And they're all very religious, which means they don't like gay. And all the advertisement about gay on television and Trump constantly saying whatever. So the very people that Trump has bashed and destroyed literally are the one who gave him the power back. That's to tell you, a magnet will attract a piece of wood. He had attracted the lowest, uneducated, very scared, very hard worker people. And there is a lot of them sad enough. Okay? Oh, good enough, because it works both ways. And they are the one who give him the power. Do you understand? A magnet will attract a piece of wood.
Right.
But there is, let's see, for example, you and I, we vibrate at the same cosmic speed because our celestial identity is similar. We're both Pisces. So we have the same discussion. We have this feeling. We are doing what we're supposed to do, basically. Okay. Now, there are people out there that don't vibrate like you. You can dance on your head. You could do anything you want. They will never, ever, either love you, like you, or understand you, or agree with you. It does not matter. It's just the stars. Now, you are related to your mom, to your dad, or if you have any kids, you're going to be related to your family 150%. That is scientifically proven. However, Michael, everybody in your family, your kids, your mother, your dad, brothers and sisters, are total stranger to you because they don't have the same stars. They are not going to think, behave, create, or have the same fate or interest as you because their stars is different. So instead of teaching archaic bull like religion or the Bible, when the family is growing, if you start to teach astrology, the conflict will be understood and unification will become a possibility. Because most of the time, the trouble starts when you arrive in this world. I had a very strong relationship with my family forever until last year. They're all gone. That's life. Sad reality in life is you lose a friend or a family member at the same time you lose a wish. That's why it's very important to be positive as much as you can with everybody. Because everybody has something to offer. Even the most stupid idiot out there has something you don't have. The idea is to maybe pay attention, being less critical, be more open. Every one of us has something godly. And the idea is to uncover it and use it in the benefit of others. Now you throw a brick above your head, you be sure, Michael, is going to come down. That's called karma. Nobody in this planet will ever avoid karma. It might take a week, a month, sometimes 5 minutes, or sometimes years. But karma will always meet you in time. It's the law. Again, I don't write those cosmic laws. I teach them. By doing something good, you are bringing good. You're putting money in the bank account maybe for your next reincarnation.
Yeah, and so we're getting close to the hour, and I know it's
already
been flying by.
Well, you know what? If you go, Michael, if you go to the dentist, time's not going to pass fast.
No. But one question I have for you around astrology that I really haven't been able to find anyone to answer, and it's not about like what house means what or anything of that nature. It's my mind is curious when we say house 1 is this sign. Mm-hmm. What determines where house 1 is? Do you face the east and it starts that way? Do you face north?
No. You're born in March. Okay. So your first house is in the constellation of Pisces. You're not just a fish. Pisces is your first house, is your soul's purpose. In your case, swim upstream. You know, it's the hardest lesson the soul's conscious to be a fish. Because you're terminal, you're going to become a co-creator with God. You don't have much of a fate. Fate is based again upon the reincarnation of your thought, understanding the superconscious in time and space. That's why you want to know about the divine. And of course, your relationship with the moon fluctuation, because you're a water sign and the moon creates the tide. There's a lot of things that Pisces has to learn in order to succeed. But your second house now, you're not a Pisces anymore. You are Aries, March, April. That's why much of my life I worked in construction. That's why much of my life I have been harassed to find out who I was, spend money with some teachers when I was younger trying to find myself. And then in the second house, you can have all the money in the world and be a billionaire. If you don't have your health or if you don't have love, you've got zilch. So you got lessons like everybody else to learn about money. Now, your mind, how do you think and how do you talk? 1, 2, 3. March, April, May. You think and you talk like a Taurus. To represent money, the ancient car of the bull. That's why Merrill Lynch Corporation used the bull. That's why the financial district in New York used the bull. Money, money, money. So all Pisces, they are so dreamy that God has decided to give them a third house, which is the critical thinking, the mental process on a practical way. How am I going to make money? Now, Taurus was also the art and music. That's why a lot of Pisces are singers, because the third house is communication. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is an artistical sign. That's why I was a recording artist and a singer for many years. And then you can look at very famous people. A lot of them that are singers. Celine Dion is a Pisces. Lady Gaga is a Pisces. I mean, what? Anyway. Then in the fourth house, at home. Who are you at home where you're sitting right now? March, April, May, June. You're a Gemini. What is Gemini? Blah, 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 blah. Radio, communication, writing, reading. In my home, I did radio. I write books. I talk. I communicate. And Pisces is moving all the time. I mean, I've been moving a lot or living with different people. Gemini, duality. Who are you with love? In the fifth house, love, romance, creativity, children, speculation. You're Cancer. That's why you attract water sign. You attract Cancer, Scorpio, and Virgo. But if you don't know that, you don't know that the fifth house is the seat of attraction between human beings. You trust your best friend with your girlfriend. You don't know astrology, and those two guys are going to have that natural chemical chemistry, and he's going to take her away. It's the stars at work. That's why the Illuminati, the government, the goat, does not give that wisdom, because they would lose control over you. They would not bring you in the congregation in their church, knowing that religion and politics are the same story, even though that they say they split. Now, when you're in the congregation, you can lead people to vote. Now, who are you in your sixth house of work and service to the world? March, April, May, June, July, August. Leo, the king of the zodiac. God is allowing you to shine by giving the light. Anytime I go out and work, I'm on stage. What do? I give light. Leo rules love. Leo rules light, the stage. Leo rules France and Italy. That's why we say French and Italian are romantic. It affects our language. Oh, mais tu es gentil, Michael. Ça fait longtemps que je t'ai pas vu. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? You see how it sounds? It sounds romantic. How you go into your seventh house? How do you face the world? You face the world as a Virgo, like me. Fussy, picky, critical, detail-oriented, over-concerned with every little thing. My God, offering cosmic consciousness should be mandatory. The U.S. Department of Education, every mother, every father, anybody intelligent would want to learn their relationship with God and the divine. But because of indoctrination and religion and deception, the negative age of Pisces for the last 2,000 years brought this world into the pit and the quicksand of Neptune. This is about to change. Remember the beginning of the show? We're getting into the age of Aquarius. This is about to change, my friend. Now, I'm going to give you the proof that astrology is not a pseudoscience. It is actually the mother of all science. In fact, the father of medicine said, you cannot call yourself a physician if you did not study astrology. I mean, you're talking about the father of medicine here. They're not going to teach that to our physician in their accredited schools and college and university learning medicine. I'm going to ask your audience, including yourself, to grab a pen, and I want you to make notes. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I want you to write down 14, 15, and 16 of November, which is next door. And I want you to write 27, 28, and 29. You have those dates? I repeat those dates. 14, 15, 16, November, and November 27, 28, 29.
Okay.
Now, during those dates, a very negative energy. Why do I mention negativity? Because if I tell you tomorrow you're going to have a brick coming on your head, you're going to remember me. Sad enough, people tend to remember more negativity than positivity. That's why I'm staying on the dark, just to help you, okay, and others. On those dates, expect a police to kill people or to be killed, secret to come to light, dramatic news, wake-up calls, and news from Russia. Particularly difficult for Mr. Trump after the 29 or on the 29, because I know his stars and I know it's going to be going through some nasty time out there. Okay? I'm going to give you another date, 18, 19, and 20th. It's next door again. I don't give it too far because people don't have much, time for memory, put it this way. This is where it's going to be the beginning or the end of important phases of life. On these days, you're going to hear about people finishing or starting something very important. Some people will move. Some people will start something very important. Pay attention to the government. Something very important we start or finish with the government or the people around you. The keywords for the 18, 19, and 20 is new beginning, ending of affairs of life. The keyword for the dates of 14, 15, 16, 27, 28, and 29 is rebirthing, wake-up call, death, and drama. Now you're going to see, you paid attention and it's all recorded, it's all on your show. During those days, I can guarantee you that you're going to realize that astrology is far from being a pseudoscience. Because I can speak the language of God, and God don't speak to fools.
Right. And one question I have is, as we were saying, knowledge is power. And if we know something, we can take our control of it back. So if, for example, you're in a negative side of a sign and you see it, you know it, you're aware of it, can you alter it to the positive, or do you have to write out the negative until it's done and then go to the positive?
You're talking about karma here, Michael. If you do something bad, you're going to have to pay it and suffer it. It's just the way it is. However, you have to remember what I said during your show. The part of God in you is stronger than the stars. Okay? Right. But if you don't know about the system, if you don't know about the entire equation, how can you control it or direct it or use it for that matter? That's why earlier you said knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. You can change anything you want, but you need to understand the mechanics. Think yourself as an airplane. There's a lot of people out there who want to take off. However, they know nothing of the magnitude of complexity of what the airplane is. They know nothing about the aeronautical maps. They can't read the maps. They know nothing about the weather. They don't know anything about the technology. And they are trying to take off. If they do, they're going to kill themselves. They're going to break their neck. That's why it's so critical to educate yourself. I teach all that, but at the same time, there are people that are not ready. As I said, I can dance off my head. Okay, I can only reach people that vibrate at my cosmic speed. I know you can reach me. I know I can reach you. Because we're Pisces. We vibrate at that spiritual stuff. But you talk about the young soul that has not came to our level of evolution. You can dance on your head. He's going to say, that's bull. Oh, forget it. I'm telling you, I'm not listening to that bull. And you go, this is what it is. It's only when the student is ready that the teacher will appear. And life is there to teach you the hard way, if needed be, for you to grow up. Because you're in hell, Michael. You ain't going to hell. You ain't going to go to hell. This is it. But the beauty is, knowledge is power. You can turn this hell into paradise if you understand the laws. You've been taught to stop at a red light. You've been taught to stop at a stop sign. If you don't, you're going to get killed or you're going to get a ticket. But you see my hand? It's got two sides. Not because you don't see the other side of my hand doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's another set of laws. You have a head, you have a tail of the dragon, you have a Saturn karmic work, you have a Jupiter great luck coming your way. You have Venus, your option to find love or give love. You have your intellectual potential set through Mercury. You have your ingenuity, craziness coming from the planet Uranus. You have your intuition, the supreme power of the superconscious led by Neptune. But you don't know this music of the sphere. You do not know God cosmic design. How can you use it? It's like giving a Lamborghini to a 15-year-old. How the hell is he going to drive these things so powerful if he hasn't been taught? He's going to crush it. That's the immense power that we have. It's what God gave us. But the forces of evil put us away from that divine wisdom. And it's only, again, if you ask and if you're ready for it, that will come to you. Do you think it's an accident to have me on your show tonight, Michael?
No, and I had a feeling there was something coming because with
Michael, do you know where the moon is tonight? Do you know in what sign the moon is tonight?
I don't actually.
It's in Pisces.
Oh, okay.
That helps people because Pisces is a very intuitive, sensible, psychic, spiritual sign. That's why I said to my wife, pick this date. It'll be perfect. At least for me, not knowing that you were a Pisces, but God has decided otherwise, that the host would be a Pisces, doubling, tripling the power of that show.
And I think it's even a harvest moon because it's gold.
He's waxing. Yeah. Remember, there's a fish swimming upstream. Okay? Now the moon has a tide, the waxing moon. So when you swim, when the moon is waxing, you are protected and God helps. And when you try to swim after the full moon as a Pisces or any other water sign, the law is against you. You have to learn those laws. As I said, you've been taught the laws of man. The IRS, the DMV, the red light, the Bible, these are the laws of man written by men. Now there is the laws of the divine. They will be given to you only if you're ready and if you ask, period. There's nothing missing around you. There is big cars, there is money, there is love, there is everything. But how do you get to it? That's the secret. Through education.
So I'm kind of curious, going back to like the ancient civilizations that were pre-Gregorian, and they had astrology, and they were studying everything. Who adapted their method to our method to read and understand what they were looking at and studying?
Again, you know what? The astrology that I have is intuitive, is symbolic, is Nostradamus, and you are in kind of a digging into more of the astronomy or on the rational modern astrology. Astrology is a science, but it's an art. Before anything, it's an art. So you dedicate this type of astrology with the spirit and intuition. Once upon a time, in fact, astronomy is a byproduct of astrology. Only 200 years ago, astronomy did not exist. Everything was astrology. But again, because of the system is set, none of these educated idiots out there, scientifically educated idiots that I call them, okay, like Neil deGrasse, can understand. The clay tablet of those disappeared civilization was used by the first critical man who challenges God to predict scientifically the time of an eclipse. And this is how astronomy was born, from the clay tablet of the Sumerian, and those clay tablets were nothing else but astrological reports. They were not astronomy then. They were, over the century, wise men like you and me realized that they live a long life. They realized that children born in August were domineering, and they were strong, and they were born to be leader, and they would not take direction. So how are we going to pass on this wisdom? Well, I am going to carve the lion and tell people this kid is born under the lion, which means he'll be strong, domineering, he'll build his kingdom. He's born in August when the sun is strong, there's plenty of fruits on the trees, we're going to have all the opportunity to succeed. That's why people born in August, Madonna, Clinton, Obama, Schwarzenegger, they click their fingers and they get on the stage. When people like us, born in February or March, we are born in the winter. There is no fruits in the trees. So the kids born in the winter are going to be more quiet, more spiritual. They will not ask for the stage and the light. Their ego will be in control. So over the centuries, all these wise men have watched children growing, children born at a specific time of the year, like the wine, like the grapes. They watched this and they saw the result. And ultimately, this channeling came from the extraterrestrial that stimulate the mind of those wise people to create astrology. It's much deeper. It's not scientific. Don't get lost into the detail, because this is how you miss the forest for the tree. Divine astrology, the astrology I teach, and I have on my website for all my students or those who want to learn, okay? It's, if you are a Pisces, a Cancer, a Scorpio, or highly spiritual, that is your astrology, because you're going to get it. Because the symbol and the way I teach is highly spiritual. Now, incidentally, my webmaster says to me, my God, Dr. Turi, your website get hits by the million by Vedic astrology in India. Hello? That tells you that I have something they don't have, and I'm proud of it, okay? So, again, what year were you born, Michael, if I may? If you don't want to tell me, that's fine too.
I was born in 1978.
Yeah, I believe your dragon is an earthy dragon, so you have a tendency to be more on the scientific side than the highly spiritual side. You're still in the process of swimming upstream. You have it, though, don't get me wrong. You have both the physical, practical side and then the highly spiritual Pisces. And you're dedicating both of those forces in your chart. So you could have, by the way, early in 2 years ago, the dragon did enter the sign of Aries, which is controlled by Mars, the planet of war. And this planet was Germany. Mars is called the Great Warrior, and it affects the language of the German people. It's a very army-like sound, contrary to the French or the Arabic. It sounds like people speak under the water, okay, when you listen to the Arabic language. So, this Aries dragon, 2 years ago, I wrote, be ready for wars. And since I wrote that, we have those two wars. On my birthday, I said Putin is going to invade Ukraine. And I was right. This being said, this Aries dragon will be moving in early January, and is moving in Pisces. The new dragon is going to be on you and me and all the Pisces. And it's going to affect every sign of the zodiac in their Pisces house. Okay? Again, if you want to know, you got to go through either you put your hand on my 2024-25 Nostradamus Dragon forecast for $25. And if you want to have the real thing, then you talk to Terania. You go to my website and you face me on Zoom, okay? And then I'll do your full life reading. That's a different situation. and you'll be a different person when you're done with me. My gosh, I get so much feedback and so much support from my client each time I do a reading. This new dragon moving in Pisces is going to change your life and my life. Mine is a given because I took my master captain license, 100 tons, and I'm moving to Florida to start my Lady of the Sea charter. So I'm moving to Florida. I am using the stars, but the stars also have a plan for me. Now, this dragon will affect every sign of the zodiac, as I said, in a specific house. In your case, it's going to affect your first house, which is yourself, maybe probably swimming upstream into your spirituality. You're going to become more sensitive, more clairvoyant. Maybe you're going to dig into the subconscious power. I got a movie on my website which you could watch, or get a movie, my book, Beyond the Secret. I can teach you the power of the superconscious. And it's going to affect your seventh house, which means the way you face the world. Everything that you see is going to change. You're going to have 18 months where the dragon in Pisces is going to help you, Michael. That's all I can say, because I don't want to go into the details. But if you're an Aries, it's going to affect your subconscious. If you're a Virgo, it's going to affect your seventh house of marriage and partnerships. In other words, if you are married with the wrong people, that guy is gone and a new person is coming. And if you're single, opportunity to sign a contract is coming your way. Not if you're a Virgo. If you're a Libra, it's going to affect your sixth house of work and health. So again, if you want to know a little bit more, and you don't want to spend the money because you don't have the money, nobody has $700 to spend on me, I understand. Okay, or 350, whatever service you choose. At least put your hand on the Nostradamus Dragon forecast for 2025. It's very affordable. Join the Cosmic Code and you get it for free. To do that, go to drturi.com and connect with Terania. The telephone or the email is there. All I'm trying to say, be curious. This new dragon in Pisces is going to completely restructure the Middle East. I wrote this back in August before Israel declared war with Hamas. Somebody was right. I said the Middle East is going to be restructured. And see what they're trying to do. Annex Gaza, Israel. I was right. I said, God nowhere to stop fire and be ready because man will drown. And you can see the hurricane that has destroyed everything in the fire. Long story. If you do not know me and you want to check my prediction, they are on my YouTube videos or in my newsletters on my website. All I'm trying to say is after that, Michael, that's where it's going to get interesting. 18 months after January, the dragon will move in Aquarius. Aquarius was nukes. That's going to be the midterm of President Trump administration. That's where we're going to have something to do with nukes. And I pray God and it is that my prediction and my vision are wrong. Sad reality, I have never been wrong. So far, if you don't know me, you have the right to doubt. Okay? But if you know me, I know what I'm talking about. That's where I hope and I pray that the draconists are going to interact with us. Since Aquarius rules UFOs, more and more of that phenomenon will become a reality, if not the ultimate reality. It's coming. That will be the true beginning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius started in 1945. The beginning of the age of Aquarius at the end of Pisces started in 1945. That's when we detonated the first nuclear bomb. And last 50 years also, we also have made a lot of discovery and a lot of progress with technology, including AI. And we went to the moon and so forth. Okay? So when that new dragon in Aquarius is kicking in, that will be an opportunity for us all to unify, or it may be very well be the last age of humanity. That's why 25 years ago, when I was on Coast to Coast, George Noory asked me, Dr. Turi, how long do we have? I said 50 years if we are lucky. So I was wrong by a few years. It's going to be very, very special. Now, remember, part of God in our soul, stronger than the stars, even though that I see the worst of the worst of the worst coming because of the stupidity of humanity, okay, who don't want to learn, who refuse to learn or let go of religion and still feed the reptilians with fear and insecurity. I'm just translating the amount of the thought of society which will bring down the funnel of total destruction or the dance of evil, which has already started with Trump administration. Sad enough, it's part of the rules. But we can still change everything. It'll be a midterm of Trump election that a very, very important time for humanity will come to pass. And we can skip it. We can skip it. That's why I'm asking everybody as of now to pray. Pray for love. Pray for light. Stop being insecure. Don't feed the negativity. I point out the negativity so that you get scared and you stop feeding the reptilians. Stop feeding the forces of evil who wants to destroy everything. And instead, hope, dignity, anything and everything that is missing, unification, love, respect, integrity, that's what we need to battle the evil that I perceive. If we keep going that way, do that make sense?
You do. And one last curious question I have for you, and I think I feel confident I have the answer, but I'm kind of curious your perspective of it is when we talk about like Sumeria, Atlantis, Lemuria, all of them have knowledge of the planets, but yet we're told we didn't know about the planets until the Renaissance age and all that. How did they know how many planets were out there? How, were they given guidance from the ETs or?
Now you got your own answer. You have the question and the answer, which I love. You're doing pretty well, believe me. Now, you have to understand that 300 or 400 miles under your feet in the red lava, middle of the earth, you got so many generations that are boiling, that have paid the ultimate price for their ignorance. And I don't want the human race to join that lava of hell. That's what you call hell, stupidity of humankind. But I don't think the Draconists would allow their creation, so to speak, to end up victimized by the reptilians. As I said earlier, there is a war taking place in the heavens. It is transcending on this dense physical world. But we can still win the war, but I have to warn. Going back to your question, the extraterrestrials stimulate the mind of people. There are people around you that have so many gifts. They got people who have gifts in mathematics. Their chart is so earthy, so rational. They're going to end up building the best bridge, the best gearbox, the best airplane, really safe. We need those practical minds. We also have people like you and me, and artists are spiritual. On the other side of the spectrum, you see? Practicality, spirituality. And we're going to keep that in balance. It's all about balancing those energy. There's so many things that you will never have the answer. Like the pyramids of Giza. Do you think the Egyptians who are still riding the donkeys today built those pyramids? No.
No.
Okay, do you understand that? Okay. The Mayan, the Incas, I mean, you can see all over the world the signature of the extraterrestrials that have stimulated the mind of people like you and me to help our fellow human being to move forward into the light. Everybody is gifted, even the most stupid guy. Sometimes I'm looking at some guy that I was growing up and I was at school. They were nerds like hell. But my God, I look at them now. What did they accomplish? Incredible things. So that's why it's not good to judge anybody, because you're judging people through your eyes, through your 5 limited rational human senses. That's when you want to use your third eye. Okay? And never ever diminish anybody, because these people can give you a big shock in time. Everybody has the essence of God, the essence of light. Since they are God themselves, you heard my explanation earlier. And then giving the chance to grow, have enough water, have enough sunshine. These people will bloom into like people doing things like you and me. So they got to have a chance. It's okay to have fears. It's okay to have insecurity. But don't make it a habit, because there is no future in the negativity or in your past. You need to move on and take challenge. You're not happy because you're not doing what you like to do. You could be working all your life, and at the end of your life, still be very poor because your paycheck was your security and you didn't take a chance on your gift that God gave you. Those gifts are sleeping in you. That's why when you deal with me, I point out those gifts and say, hey, that's where you belong. Oh, that's where you want to push. Careful of that law that affected you here. Move on that direction. Pay attention to this. You're born again. I received an email today from my client after my session. I mean, I got so much endorsement, I don't know what to do with them anymore. But it makes me feel so good that these people can relate to me and have helped these people to raise from their own ashes, from their own fear, insecurity, their lack of direction. They trust me. It's wonderful. Sometimes I get people that really are challenging, like this lady. I say, lady, you're paying me a lot of money. I cannot tell you what you want to hear. She says, well, I want to know about me and my husband. I said, well, I'm sorry, but you and your husband is not going to work, because the tail of the dragon is moving on your marriage. During those days, I was doing meeting in my office. She said, I dare you. And she just ran off and slammed my door. Get off my office. You didn't even pay me. That's what you get for being honest, right? A year later, this lady called me, Dr. Turi. I've been referred by a lady called, and she told me the name of that person. Of course, I got so many people, in no way that I could remember. I said, I'm sorry, I don't remember what you're talking about, but I said, thank you for your referral. She said, oh, you remember her. She slammed the door and she left your office and she never paid you because you told her she was she will lose her husband in divorce. She said, she's asking me to tell you that she's willing to pay for another reading, pay for the other reading, and ask you to apologize. A year later, I prove her right. I prove myself and her that I was right. So you have to be ready. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. If you want to do that, you call the psychic in California, okay? Now, I operate at a very high level. I dig into the superconscious in time and space. I clean your subconscious. I make you aware of your relationship with the divine, and I teach you God cosmic design, or what Jesus used to teach with the 12 apostles, astrology. And everything is recorded. Everything is recorded on Zoom. That's why you cannot talk. I always say to my people, I have more answers than you have questions. Please, I'm channeling, don't talk. You could talk after the psychic part or after the explanation of your subconscious. You have all the time in the world to talk to me. But don't talk when I do the reading, because I'm channeling the information. And all of my clients are doing very well. unless they have a very strong Gemini Dragon. Still, they can help themselves to talk, so I have to put them in line each time, but usually they do very well. So, you're not taking a chance with me. I'm the real thing, and I'm not saying this as Dr. Turi, you're the best. A lot of people, assume and confuse my supreme confidence in my cosmic wisdom as an ego trip. I don't have any ego at all. I'm concerned and I'm committed to help you before anything. And I always do. My way.
And thank you for that. And one last question before we call it, because it's getting late, is it's for those that are watching this or going to watch the replay, what is a golden nugget from your life experience that you would love to leave the audience with? It can be on any topic.
All right, I want them to say after me. And you're going to say too, as a guide for them, okay? Say after me. My future
is
nothing else than the reincarnation of my thoughts. That's it. That's what I want to leave you, your show, and your audience. Make that a little prayer every night. And remember, don't separate yourself with God, because you were made in the image of God. You have the essence of creation. You are a God. You are a goddess in training on this dense physical world. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, you cannot do or have. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. Michael, thank you for having me tonight. God bless you, my friend.
Yes, and hopefully we'll get you on again. It was very fascinating.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
All right. So to everyone out there, thank you for watching. Thank you to those in the chat room for participating. And wherever you are in the world, make it a wonderful day, afternoon, evening. And I like to say, if you're asleep, feel free to wake up and watch this episode. And fill each day with laughter and love. All right, with that, we're going to say good night.
Right.